Alright guys, welcome back. So today we are out here at the range. We're going to be doing a versus video between the Sig P229 and the CZ75 P-01. So what we're going to do today is just run some rounds through both of them, go over some of my likes and dislikes, maybe some pros and cons, maybe we'll shoot some accuracy with both of them, stuff like that. But we're just going to jump right into it, start shooting it, and just have some fun, see how they shoot. So I guess we'll just get things started off with the CZ75. Okay, so here we go. Okay, 14 rounds in, and if you've been following the channel for at least the last couple videos, then you know that the P-01 is a fairly new gun to me still, but quickly becoming one of my favorites. Very ergonomic, very easy to shoot, little compact handgun. So here we go, round or mag 2. Okay, so there's 2 mags through the P-01, and we got some steel targets set up at about 12 yards. And even though the stock sights on the P-01 are a little lacking, they are a little small, especially the rear sight, so it's kind of hard to get on target quick. But as you can see here at 12 yards, I have no problem getting hits on those 2 steel targets. So yeah, the P-01 shoots great. Now let's switch over to the P229 Legion and do the same thing. Let's run some rounds through this one. Okay, so this one is 15 round capacity, which is a plus compared to the P-01 being only 14 rounds on that one. But the sights on the Legion are definitely better. It has that nice high vis front sight, so the sight's definitely better. But let's go ahead and shoot another mag. Okay, and we do have one more mag for the 229. The P-01 comes with 2 mags, the Legion comes with 3 mags. So I guess that is another pro for the Legion. Okay, so there's the 229 Legion, and I'm hoping with the angle that we're at and everything, you guys can see just how the guns control. That's one thing I want you guys to look at is, because they are different designs. The P-01 does have the internal slide rails, which is supposed to help the gun be a little softer shooting, a little more manageable, whereas the Sig, it's known to have a little higher bore axis than other guns. So I just wanted you guys to be able to see how controllable the guns are, being how they are a little bit different that way, and just some things to watch, some things to look at to, and, you know, especially if you're out here and you're watching these videos, trying to decide which one you might want, which one might be better suited for you. So that's just some things to watch, but I'm going to load some magazines up again, and we'll keep shooting. Okay, so now let's do an accuracy test with both of these pistols and see if I can be more accurate with one over the other or anything like that. And we've got a target set up at 7 yards, and we're just going to be using some Federal 115 grain ball, just some cheap bulk pack stuff, so no special types of ammo or anything. But I've got 2 targets. We'll shoot this one first at the top target, and then we'll switch to the Legion, and I'll try to put the image of the target up here while I'm shooting. So here we go, let's see what we can do. First shot, double action. Okay, so there is the group, 14 rounds at 7 yards with the P-01. Definitely a good group. I will take that. So now let's switch over to the Legion and do the same thing. Okay, sorry about that. I really thought I forgot to hit record on that second camera. So so let's continue. Again, first round double action, bottom target, 229 Legion. Okay, on that second to last shot, that was all me. I flinched on that one. But again, excellent group with the Legion. If I had to just guess by looking at it from right here, the Legion group is definitely a little bit better. But both guns with non-match, just cheap federal stuff you can buy at Walmart, just cheap stuff. Both of them plenty accurate. All right, mags are loaded back up. Let's go back to shooting. And again, we'll start off with the P-01 and ring some steel. Okay, one more mag through the P-01. Okay, man, that gun's fun to shoot. Very ergonomic gun. And again, be watching for how the gun handles, how the recoil's handled, all that stuff, so you guys can get a better idea on how each one of these guns does. So here we go, P229 Legion. All right, both of them shooting great. Definitely making easy work on those targets at 12 yards. All right, one more mag for the Legion. Okay. So there is another round with both guns, and I tried to shoot a little bit faster on those targets this time so you guys can get a better idea on how the guns control, at least in my hands, with a little faster paced shooting and stuff like that. But let me get cleaned up. We'll go over some of the details and the features, pros and cons and stuff of these two pistols. All right, so now let's go over some of the features of both of these pistols, some of my likes and dislikes, and maybe some pros and cons to each one of them before ending the video. And we'll go ahead and start things off with the CZ75 P-01. So the features. First and foremost, this thing is extremely ergonomic. It has probably the best ergonomics of any pistol that I've had experience with yet to date. It just melts away in your hand. It really, really does. It just feels like an extension of your hand. If you hear people talking about the ergonomics of a CZ and going on about it and all that, believe them. It is true, very ergonomic gun. Now with this particular one, I did take off the factory rubber grips and I installed these VZ grips. These are the tactical diamonds in the black and gray color. And for me, what that helped with is getting rid of that palm swell. I have small to medium-sized hands. I wear a medium-sized glove, and the long double-action trigger reach on this pistol was a little bit of a reach for my small hands. And by putting these grips on it and getting rid of that palm swell, it allowed me to get to that double-action trigger a little bit better. So it was there was reasoning behind this other than just the looks to get these grips, but they do look amazing and feel amazing. The grip texture on these are excellent. So if you're looking for a set of grips for your P-01, definitely take a look at the tactical diamonds from VZ Grips. It does shoot from a 14 round magazine, which I guess is sort of a downfall to the CZ versus the P229. It is one less than the 229, of course, and other compact size guns in this category. So a little bit lacking in the capacity department, but not a deal breaker at all. It does have an accessory rail up front, so you can add any lights, lasers, or whatever you want to on it. I have tried out the TLR1 weapon light. It fits perfectly on here, works great. The front and back straps are, I guess, a little bit lacking. They do have the serrations on it, but I would much rather see checkering on here to help it keep planted in your hand a little bit better, but that's just a personal preference thing. The magazine release button, easy to get to. It is a little bit extended to help get to it a little bit better, so the magazine release works good. The decocker on this thing, I really do like the location where this is at. This gun's safe and empty, and so will be the 229, but say you want to run it, it's back here in the back. It's not way up front like a lot of other guns, including the 229. It's just right here. So if I need to use this, I can just get my thumb on there very easily and decock it without having to break my shooting grip. So I do like the location of the decocker. It does have front and rear cocking serrations that are forward angled, so they really do bite into your hand or your fingers or however you're using it to really get a good grip on it and be able to run the action on the gun. And speaking of the action and the slide and all this, the CZs are a little bit different, as you can tell. They do have those internal slide rails, which is much different than a lot of your other standard guns out there on the market. So what that does is it helps the gun be a little bit softer shooting. It helps just everything smooth out just a little bit being on the inside, plus it gives you a lower bore axis for a double action gun, if you can see that there. So the internal slide rails do work out well and do have a lot of benefits to it. Now I guess one downfall is going to be that you have less slide to grab onto, to manipulate, and all that. So you do have a little bit less to grab onto, but with these nice serrations that they have on here, no matter how you're gripping it, it really does stick into your hand, and I haven't run into any issues running the action on a CZ pistol. The sights that are on this thing are again an area where this thing is a little bit lacking. If you can kind of see there, the rear sight is mainly the issue. It has very small dots, and the notch in the rear is very small and shallow, so it makes picking up that front sight a little bit difficult, but as you can see, very usable. Here at 12 yards, I had no problem hitting steel at a decent pace with these sights, but I wish they had better sights, and I will be changing these out hopefully in the near future. I'm probably going to go with some True Glow, those TFXs I think they're called. They're the tritium and the fiber optic. The more I've been using fiber optic here lately, I'm becoming a big fan of it, and those offer the best of both worlds. You have fiber optic for day, and then the tritium for nighttime stuff, low light stuff. So I'm really eager to try those out. I've never used them on any other pistols, but hopefully this will be my first, and we'll get that changed out. So the last thing is the trigger, and the trigger on this is really good. So one thing to note is how the CZs have those really pronounced hooks on their trigger, and before I got this I really wasn't sure how I was going to like that, but it really does fit your finger just perfectly. And we'll go ahead and look at the double action pull. As you can see, nice and smooth, a little bit on the heavy side, but I guess light for a double action pull. It's like right at 9 pounds. So a nice double action pull. And we'll go ahead and look at the single action. You're gonna have some take up, you're gonna hit a wall, and then a nice like 4.5 pound break, I think is what it was measuring on my Lyman gauge. So excellent double action, excellent single action. Now, I guess one area is the reset, and it is a little bit longer than say the 229 Legion that we're getting ready to look at, but nice audible reset, not too long. You have a little bit of movement before it breaks again, and then it breaks. So overall, the trigger on the P-01 is great. It's excellent. I really do like it. I wish the reset was a little bit shorter, a little bit less movement, but that's just a minor critique. Overall, really do like the trigger on the P-01. So that is the features on the P-01, some of my likes and dislikes. And now let's go over to the 229 Legion, which again is safe and empty. So right off the bat, you're gonna notice that the Legion has a little bit different coating than you're probably used to on other SIGs. This one has the PVD coating, and it gives it that nice gray color. Some people say it's a real durable finish. Some people say it's not as durable as the others. In my case, I haven't noticed anything to say that it was any better or worse than the others, but I do like the gray finish right off the bat on the 229 Legion. As far as ergonomics go, it is an ergonomic gun. Feels good in your hand, just sticks really well into your hand. It is a little bit wider, but it still is ergonomic. Not near as ergonomic as the P-01, but still feels good in your hand. And now this one does have the front strap checkering, which does help you control the gun a little bit better. It does have some nice G10 grips. I think they're by Hogue. They do have the Legion diamond or Legion little emblem right there in the grip. So it does look good, it feels good, and ergonomics are really good on the 229 Legion. This one is going to be like your standard style pistol. It does have the slide rails on the outside, so you do have more to grip onto. It does have front and rear cocking serrations, and it works well. Standard stuff, has worked for a long time, and it does continue to work. But because of that, as you can probably tell there, it does have a little bit higher of a bore axis, and I know that's one thing that people always criticize the SIGs about, is that high bore axis. But in my experience, I've never had any issues with the gun being uncontrollable or anything like that because of a little bit higher bore axis than some other guns. Now, my guns are 9mm. It might be different if you got a 40 or a 357 SIG, but in my experience with the 9mm guns, this works just fine. The sights on the Legion are an upgraded version. I think they're called the X-Ray 3 sights. As you can see, the back is serrated with tritium dots and kind of a blacked out rear, and then the front has a tritium insert in the center, but it is a high-vis front with that green around the sight there. So awesome sights on the Legion right out of the box. It does have a shelf here on the back for one-handed manipulation. So overall, I really do enjoy the sights that came on the Legion. It does have an accessory rail here up front. It looks like your standard 1913 rail, but it does have a radius cut to it, and SIG's done that on pretty much all their pistols except for like the Mark 25. It does work with all your standard accessories, at least the ones that I've tried. All your standard weapon lights like the Surefire X300s, the Streamlight, stuff like that, it does work. There might be some out there that might not like this curved design, but it does work. So the last thing, the trigger. And in my opinion, the triggers on a SIG with the short reset trigger is excellent. The best trigger that I've ever felt on a double single action gun. So we'll go ahead and take a look at it. And you'll probably notice that I do have a different trigger in mind. It is a gray guns, which the Legion does come with a gray guns trigger, but this one is the flat face trigger. I just like flat triggers in my guns. But we'll take a look at the double action. Nice, smooth, no stacking, no grittiness, and again, it's about around the 9-pound mark, maybe a little less, just like the P-01. Single action, you're going to have a little bit of take up, and then a nice short, crisp break, probably around the 4 to 4.5 pound mark. So double action, single action pulls on the 229 Legion, absolutely fantastic. But it gets better, and that is with the reset. Watch this reset. Probably only 1/8 of an inch of travel, and then no movement, you're ready to fire again. So the trigger on the Legion is absolutely fantastic. Probably the best double single action trigger as far as the double action, the single action, and the reset that I've ever felt on a handgun. So that is where this is really gonna shine. So that is sort of some of my likes and dislikes, pros and cons of both of these pistols. I guess if I had to choose one, oh man, the Legion is gonna be about double the cost of the CZ. The CZ, I think I paid $579 for this CZ, and this was $1,100 or $1,200. I can't remember exactly what I ended up paying for it. So about double the cost. So if you factor in that, and you're gonna buy one, I might lean towards the CZ just because you could get 2 of these CZs for the price of this SIG. Now, is the SIG double the cost, double the worth being double the cost? I don't think so. I guess what the Sig has going for it is it does have that fantastic trigger, but I guess you can do a little work to the CZ and maybe get it the same way. The sights are a little bit better than on the P-01, but I don't think that makes up for the $600 more that this makes, that this costs. So I'm gonna have to go with the CZ75 P-01. But that's just my opinion. Definitely let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. If you had to choose, are you taking the 229, the P-01? I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about it. But anyhow, guys, that's all I got for you today. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. And like I said, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or anything like that, leave it down in the comment section below and I'll do my best to get back with you. And before you take off, make sure you do check the description box. I always have a ton of stuff listed down there. I've got links to channel sponsors, social media, my new website, all different types of stuff. So always check that out before you take off. And as always, I appreciate each and every one of you guys watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.